What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Snaj V Show. And one thing that I'm going to share with you today is essentially what my elite coaching program is absolutely made of. Now, the key purpose of my program is to honestly bring people to a whole new level of empowerment. I want people to feel like they are enough. I want people to feel like they can do more. I want people to honestly just wake up to themselves and go, I am worthy, and not even just worthy of just like something small, but worthy of whatever it is that they want. And so over the course of 12 months, what I try to do is give people these 5 key areas, and I'm going to share them with you because these 5 key areas are really what helped me the most. It actually helped me overcome a lot of the adversity that I went through, both mentally, physically, emotionally. And so I'm going to jump straight into it. I'm going to share the 5 key areas that I actually help people understand and build and do all of this work over the course of 12 months. And I'm going to share it with you in this episode. So the very first one is self-confidence. Okay. And how I do this with people is through fitness and nutrition. I do this because when I get people to work out, to push themselves, to start training more, to really kind of get their bodies to do more work, they start to feel more confident. And it's really just coming back to that confident loop, right? And if you know about that, basically the more competent you become in something, the more confident you become at that same thing. So yes, people will start with me. They have no idea what they're doing, or maybe they have a somewhat of an idea, but then they become more confident because I give it to them a bit more frequently, and they start to understand what it is that they're doing, and they work harder, and then they start to master it. And not only that, they watch their bodies change. So they might get stronger. They might start to change the way that they look. There's a lot of things that will come up for them that they will then start to improve. And then when we add the nutrition into it, they start to build discipline. And so in building the strength, in building the discipline, they start to discover themselves. And that's really what confidence needs. Confidence essentially needs us to discover who we are, the traits we have and maybe don't have, and then work on what we need to build what we want to then become the person we want to be. And so that's really what develops the confidence. Now, I do this over a certain period of time because what I have found is that most people don't stick things out. They'll start something, they'll dabble in it, and then they won't stick it out. And a lot of the time it's because they want instant gratification. And if you're going to search for that, then you're basically better off just looking for something that's like a super quick fix, make you feel good for the moment, and then lead you back to where you were. But the reason why I take at least 4 to 6 months with people doing this is because they need to learn that it's a delayed process. It's really delayed gratification, and you need that. Because if you don't know what that's going to look like, you're not going to give yourself enough time. And when it comes to confidence, one thing that is a very, very important factor is time. You have to be patient. Things don't happen overnight. And if they did, it wouldn't be worth it. And you would feel like you didn't have to do anything to earn it. And confidence is something that you have to put in the work on a daily basis. You have to sacrifice things that you don't want to. And you have to do things that aren't comfortable. And as you go through this, guess what happens? You become more confident. And in doing so, you're going to build a reputation. You're going to build this version of yourself where you are just more solid. You're stronger. You know you're resilient. You know that you have the perseverance to overcome the weak moments, or, some of the desires that come up for you, or the pleasures that come up for you. And that's what I do in the first portion. The next one is enthusiasm. And I don't know if you've been around someone who is just so monotone, has no life force. Basically, everything is just fine, and they don't actually have like any enthusiasm to life. If you know that person, you know that they have a pretty low energy. They have a low frequency, a low vibration. And so I get people to understand that they can be enthusiastic. They have to bring a sense of energy to the table. Because if you're just monotone, if you're just kind of traveling at this like steady state, you don't have highs, lows, and in-betweens. And you need to have some of that. And enthusiasm is something where you don't necessarily love what it is, or you don't necessarily think the greatest of it, but you're enthusiastic about it. You still bring some energy to it, because if you don't have that, then there's almost no life force behind what you're doing. And if there's no life force, you're not going to want to do it. You're not going to be interested in it. So enthusiasm is an absolute critical role to adding to the confidence that you're building. So we need to try to almost understand that to be enthusiastic in something that's uncomfortable will make the discomfort feel more rewarding, because you know that there is something at the end. You know that there's something that's worthwhile in it, but you're bringing your own sense of energy to this. And that's going to be what creates so much force for you. So I try to get people to also bring that to the table. I'll always bring it for them, but they have to bring it to the table themselves. And then the next portion is an absolute important aspect of every single point. And this is going to be understanding what we're aiming for. Like, what's the ultimate aim here? What's the chief aim, the top of the chart type of stuff? What are we truly aiming for this person? Now, for all my clients, it's something different. Some of them just have a specific goal in mind, and we're really like striving for it. And this could be anywhere between 1, 3, 5, or a 10-year target. It doesn't matter, but we are striving for something that has an ultimate goal. And we know that we're not going to get there right away. We know that this is going to be a process, but we have to set this chief aim so that we know what we're working towards. We have this direction, and in the direction that we're going, we know we're taking step-by-step processes to get there. And that chief aim, it becomes almost like the why. Like, why do I do this every day? Because of my chief aim. Why do I have to be enthusiastic about it? Because of the chief aim. Because that is going to be the ultimate reason why you actually do what you need to do. And I always encourage people to write down their why and stick with it, no matter what. It doesn't matter if you're having bad days, bad weeks, bad months. You have to stick with your chief aim, because if you don't, what's going to happen is you're going to lose sight of your aim. Once you lose sight of the aim, then the direction becomes unclear. And when the direction becomes unclear, you will have absolutely no enthusiasm, no motivation, and no purpose. And then you're just going to go downhill real fast. So I always have people focus on their aim and work towards their aim. 1 degree, 1%, however you want to look at it, that's what people have to do. Now, the next portion, I don't expect this from everybody, but I know that the ones that are willing to do it, they'll get there way faster. And that's going the extra mile. So you go the extra mile. If I set you up with a workout, maybe you do it twice. If I set you up with sets and reps, maybe you actually over deliver the numbers that you kind of set back to me. If I set you up with nutrition, I say you got to stay clean 90% of the time, and you hit me with 100, damn, like you are good. You're going the extra mile, not for me, but for yourself. And so I get people to understand that going the extra mile will also get them to their goal a lot faster. And this doesn't have to just be in fitness and nutrition, and this doesn't have to be in enthusiasm or whatever aim they have in life. You can go the extra mile in any aspect. You can go the extra mile in your relationships. You can go the extra mile at your workplace. You can go the extra mile in whatever it is that you do for someone every day. There's absolutely nothing wrong with going the extra mile. Think of the reward. When you go that extra mile, think of how good that feels for yourself before it feels for anyone else. How good does it feel knowing that you went and did more? More than what you were asked to do, more than what you were expected to do. Like, when you do more, you receive more. It's going to be coming back to that concept of you reap what you sow. So if you give the bare minimum, then expect the bare minimum results. If you give less, then expect less results. You have to think about it like that. And I love the concept of going the extra mile, because honestly, that's what I had to do all the time. And even if I went the extra mile on the side and it still led me to maybe even just going and meeting someone where they were at, I knew that I did the extra mile to meet them. Like, I had a goal in mind. And if you don't go the extra mile, you can't expect much in return. And now, when we're at where we're at, in the world we live in, if you want to get ahead, you got to go the extra mile. That's just how it is. If you want to be complacent, if you want to just be stagnant and just kind of cruise, don't go the extra mile. Do the bare minimum. Do absolutely the scraping the barrel stuff to maintain where you are and to not grow, to not develop, to not do anything. Just chill out and see what the results come back to you with. If they don't come back as what you want, then you know you probably didn't do enough. And that's just the reality of that. So I absolutely love sharing that with people because it's so important. It's so critical to understand that going the extra mile will also give you the extra results. And the last thing that I think is absolutely critical as well is concentration. Now, how many times have you lost sight of your goals, of what you're trying to achieve? How many times have you lost your focus and somehow along the way you don't have the clarity that you need to go where you want to go? You don't have any direction or purpose because you've lost the concentration. And a lot of the time, losing your concentration is due to distractions. And if you constantly get distracted by things that you're seeing, things that you're getting drawn to, the pulls that are happening around you, right? How many pulls do we get? Think about all these things that pull at you. The people that are like, yeah, just come and eat some poor foods. Yeah, just come have a drink with us. Yeah, you know what? Let's watch TV all night. Let's binge watch. That sounds fun to us. Those are the pulls. It's those small, tiny matters that add up over time. And like a lot of the time, people don't realize how much we lose our concentration because we are getting distracted by all of these pulling forces that are coming at us. You cannot let yourself get pulled in these directions. You have to stay focused. And in your focus, your concentration is so deliberate. You know what you want. You know how to get there, and you will not let anything or anyone stand in your way. That is the concentration that I'm talking about. Like, you're concentrated on your aim, your confidence, the enthusiasm that's going into it, the extra mile that you're willing to go. You have to think about it in these senses. And that's essentially what I love to deliver over the course of 12 months. This isn't a 3-month thing. This isn't 6 months. I don't like working with people for 3 months at a time. I don't enjoy it. I can't get them to where they want to go. I can't even do it in 6, right? I love working with people over 12 months because I see a different person in a year. And that's because I've become a different person in a year. No one can honestly turn to you and say, yeah, I'm exactly who I want to be, and it's been a month. That's not a transformation. A transformation is a year-long process, a decade-long process. So stop telling people that you're different because it's been a couple of weeks, it's been a few months. That's not the case. You cannot transform your life in such a short amount of time. That's just basically validating some of the work, right? Let's think about all of the years that you went wrong. Like, let's think of all of the times that you made the wrong decisions or you sacrificed the wrong things. They do not just kind of somehow get washed away after a few weeks or months of work. So these 5 critical points that I love doing with people, they are the absolutes to helping someone become a better version. And I break it up into months. Every single process or every single concept, that it has a specific time frame attached to it. So I focus on one for a certain amount of time, and then I add. And then I'll do that for a certain amount of time, and then I'll add again. And by doing this, I get people to build in their character, in their traits, in their habits, in their attitudes. And as time goes on and I see that they're mastering it because they're refining themselves, they're really understanding that, hey, I've got to refine this area, I've got to refine this area, and then I'm mastering this area. That's how we know that they're actually improving. That's how we know they're actually delivering themselves to become a better version. And not enough people understand that this is a long process. It's not quick. So you may pay a lot of money for something short and sweet, but you'll be paying a lot more in time and effort trying to uphold whatever you've done. So it's a process that you have to kind of commit yourself to, be dedicated to. And it's an amazing concept. When you do it, when you go all into it, you know that you can look back after a year and you can say to yourself, I actually gave it everything I am, everything I have, and I'm never going back there. And once you know that you're never going back to a place that didn't serve you, once you're committed to that, you have actually developed discipline. Consistency is nothing. Discipline is everything. And everyone talks about it. And you know what? The ones that talk about it the most, the ones that have this more truer, authentic version, those are the ones that are legit. Not these people that are like, yeah, I've got discipline after 3 months. You're like, you have nothing. Like literally, you like people that think they have discipline after 3 months of eating clean and working out and journaling and doing that stuff. They do not have discipline. They have a habit they are forming in the hopes that they can maintain it. Talk to me after a year of doing that and I'll tell you that you're disciplined. Talk to me after doing that for a decade and I'll tell you that you're disciplined. Something that was short term, something that is instant, that's not going to cut it. All right. So, you know, I've seen it, I've heard it, I've witnessed it, and I've experienced it myself. And I know what it takes. And so I want to share this with you because these 5 areas, these 5 keys are what you can do at any point on your own if you really want to. You have to have a process to develop and a system to develop self-confidence. You have to have a process to be enthusiastic about it. You have to have a process that's going to develop that aim in life that you're striving for. You have to have a process of which is going to motivate you to go the extra mile. And you have to have a process that's going to keep your concentration on the target. And this is going to be what's going to help you overcome some of the setbacks. This is what's going to help you whenever adversity strikes, whenever something that you have to overcome comes into it, you will know what to do. Because you have these 5 key areas. You know that I'm having a hard day. I'm having a hard week. This has come up. This is bothering me. This is stepping in the way. You will have the tools, the process, the systems, the ideas, the strategies to then overcome whatever is happening for you. So use those 5. Tell everybody about those 5 because honestly, this is something that I have spent so much time trying to develop myself. I developed it myself. And now I get to share it with the world. I get to share it with as many people that I work with. And I do it over the course of 12 months because I've seen what 12 months can do for someone. I've seen how much it has helped people transform who they are. And spend the time. Give yourself a year. Give yourself 1 solid year to really commit to something and change yourself. Because once you do that, you know you're not going back. You're not going back to whoever you were last year or the year before that. And then you can build on that and you can actually grow so much further from that. So I hope that is helpful for you guys. I would love for you to share this with anyone out there that you feel this could actually help, right? Remember the best thing that you can do for someone, the absolute best gift that you can give someone is the gift of inspiration, right? Inspire someone to do something with their life. Inspire someone to change their bad habits. Inspire someone to get out of a negative hole, to get out of a bad place, and to do something differently with their life. Inspire them. Stop sitting back. Don't baby them. Don't enable them. Don't validate any kind of bullshit behavior. Inspire them because that's essentially what we're made to do. We're here to help people. We're here to lift them up, to get them out of bad places, to pick them up if they're falling down, and to remind them that they can try harder and that they can win. It's a choice. Winning is a choice just as much as losing is a choice, but you have to start making that choice. So that's what I'm going to finish with, guys. And you got to remember, you are 1 decision away from a completely different life, and we'll see you in the next one.
Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up, I'm just doing me, everything is on me, oh you matter what, add it up.